Death of the Wombat. The Wombat is dead. No assembly, no vote. Principal made an announcement this morning. He said hornets better represent the Merryweather spirit than foreign marsupials. Plus, the Wombat mascot costume was going to suck money from the prom committee's budget. We are the Hornets, and that is final. The seniors support this decision totally. They wouldn't be able to hold up their heads if the prom had to be moved from the Holiday Inn ballroom to the gym. It would be so elementary school. Our cheerleaders are working on annoying chants that end in lots of buzzing. I think this is a mistake. I have visions of opposing teams making enormous fly swatters and giant cans of insecticide out of paper mache to humiliate us during halftime programs. I'm allergic to hornets. One sting and my skin bubbles with hives and my throat closes up. I missed the bus because I couldn't believe how dark it was when my alarm clock went off. I need a clock that will turn on a 300-watt bulb when it's time to get up. Either that or a rooster. When I realize how late it is, I decide not to rush. Why bother? Mom comes downstairs. When Mom comes downstairs and I'm reading the funnies and eating oatmeal. Mom, you missed the bus again. I nod. Mom, you expect me to drive you again? Another nod. Mom, you'll need boots. It's a long walk and it snowed again last night. I'm already late. That is unexpected, but not harsh. The walk isn't that bad. It's not like she made me hike 10 miles through a snowstorm uphill in both directions or anything. The streets are quiet and pretty. The snow covers yesterday's slush and settles on the rooftops like powdered sugar on a gingerbread town. By the time I get to Fayette's, the town bakery, I'm hungry again. Fayette's makes wicked good jelly donuts, and I have lunch money in my pocket. I decide to buy 2 donuts and call it brunch. I cross the parking lot and it comes out the door. Andy Evans with a raspberry dripping jelly donut in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. I stop on a frozen puddle. Maybe he won't notice me if I stand still. That's how rabbits survive. They freeze in the presence of predators. He sets his coffee on top of his car and fumbles in his pocket for the keys. Very, very adult. This coffee, car keys, cut school guy. He drops the keys and swears. He isn't going to notice me. I'm not here. He can't see me standing here in my purple marshmallow jacket. But of course my luck with this guy sucks. So he turns his head and sees me, and Wolf smiles, showing, "Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have." He steps toward me, holding out the donut. "Want a bite?" he asks. Bunny Rabbit bolts, leaving fast tracks in the snow. Get away, get away, get away. Why didn't I run like this before when I was a one-piece talking girl? Running makes me feel like I'm 11 years old and fast. I burn a strip up the sidewalk, melting snow and ice 3 feet on either side. When I stop, a brand new thought explodes in my head. Why go to school? Escape. The first hour of blowing off school is great. No one to tell me what to do, what to read, what to say. It's like living in an MTV video. Not with the stupid costumes, but wearing that butt-strutting I do what I want attitude. I wander down Main Street, beauty parlor, 7-Eleven, bank, card store. The rotating bank sign says it's 22 degrees. I wander up the other side. Appliance store, hardware store, parking lot, grocery store. My insides are cold from breathing in frozen air. I can feel the hairs in my nose crackle. My strut slows to a foot-dragging schlump. I even think about trudging uphill to school. At least it's heated. I bet kids in Arizona enjoy playing hooky more than kids trapped in central New York. No slush, no yellow snow. I'm saved by a Centro bus. It coughs and rumbles and spits out 2 old women in front of the grocery store. I climb on the destination, the mall. You never think about the mall being closed. It's always supposed to be there, like milk in the refrigerator, or God. But it is just opening when I get off the bus. Store managers juggle key rings and extra-large coffees. Then the cage gates fly up in the air. Lights wink on, the fountains jump, music plays behind the gate for the giant ferns, and the mall is open. White-haired grandmas and grandpops power walk, squeak, squeak, going so fast they don't even look at the window displays. I hunt spring fashions. Nothing that fit last year fits now. How can I shop with Mom if I don't want to talk to her? She might love it, so no arguing that way. But then I'd have to wear the clothes she picked out. Conundrum. A 3-point vocab word. I sat by the central elevator where they set up Santa's workshop after Halloween. The air smells fresh like French fries and floor cleaner. The sun through the skylight is summer hot, and I shed layers, jacket, hat, mitten, sweater. I lose 7 pounds in half a minute. Feel like I could float up alongside the elevator. Tiny brown birds sing above me. No one knows how they got in, but they live in the mall and sing pretty. I lie on the bench and watch the birds weave through the warm air until the sun burns so bright I'm afraid it will make holes in my eyeballs. I should probably tell someone. Just tell someone. Get it over with. Let it out. Blurt it out. I want to be in 5th grade again. Now that is a deep, dark secret, almost as big as the other one. 5th grade was easy. Old enough to play outside without mom, too young to go off the block. The perfect leash length. A rent-a-cop strolls by. He studies the wax women in the Sears window, then strolls back the other way. He doesn't even bother with a fake smile or a, "Are you lost? I'm not in 5th grade." He stares back for a third pass, his finger on his radio. Will he turn me in? Time to find that bus stop. I spend the rest of the day waiting for it to be 2:48, so it's not all that different from school. I figure I learned a good lesson and set my alarm clock early for the next day. I wake up on time for 4 days in a row. Get on that bus 4 days in a row. Ride home after school. I want to scream. I think I'll need to take a day off every once in a while. Code breaking. Hairwoman has been buying new earrings. One pair hangs all the way down to her shoulders. Another has bells in them like the pair Heather gave me at Christmas. I guess I can't wear mine anymore. There should be a law. It's Nathaniel Hawthorne month in English. Poor Nathaniel. Does he know what they've done to him? We are reading the Scarlet Letter, one sentence at a time, tearing it up and chewing on its bones. It's all about symbolism, says Hairwoman. Every word chosen by Nathaniel, every comma, every paragraph break. These were all done on purpose. To get a decent grade in her class, we have to figure out what he was really trying to say. Why couldn't he just say what he meant? Would they pin scarlet letters on his chest, B for blunt, S for straightforward? I can't whine too much. Some of it is fun. It's like a code. Breaking into his head and finding the key to his secrets. Like the whole guilt thing. Of course you know the minister feels guilty, and Hester feels guilty, but Nathaniel wants us to know this is a big deal. If he keeps repeating, she felt guilty, she felt guilty, she felt guilty, it would be a boring book, and no one would buy it. So he planted symbols, like the weather, and the whole light and dark thing to show us how poor Hester feels. I wonder if Hester tried to say no. She's kind of quiet, so we would get along. I can see us living in the woods, her wearing that A, me with an S maybe, for silent, for stupid, for scared, for silly, for shame. So the code breaking part was fun for the first lesson, but a little of it goes a long way. Hairwoman is hammering it to death. Hairwoman, the description of the house with its bits of glass embedded in the walls. What does it mean? Utter silence from the class. A fly left over from fall buzzes against the cold window. A locker slams in the hall. Hairwoman answers her own question. Think of what it would look like, a wall with glass embedded in it. Would it reflect, sparkle, shine on sunny days, maybe? Come on, people, I shouldn't have to do this by myself. Glass in the wall. We should use that on top of prison walls nowadays. Or we use that on top of prison walls nowadays. Hawthorne is showing us that the house is a prison, or a dangerous place maybe. It is hurtful. Now I asked you to find examples of the use of color. Who can list a few pages where color is described? A fly buzzes, a farewell buzz, and dies. Rachel Rochelle, my ex-best friend. Who cares what the color means? How do you know what he meant to say? I mean, did he leave another book called Symbolism in my books? If he didn't, then you could just be making all of this up. Does anyone really think this guy sat down and stuck all kinds of hidden meanings into his story? It's just a story. Hairwoman, this is Hawthorne, one of the greatest American novelists. He didn't do anything by accident. He was a genius. Rachel Rochelle, I thought we were supposed to have opinions here. My opinion is that it's kind of hard to read, but the part about how Hester gets in trouble and the preacher guy almost gets away with it, well, that's a good story. But I think you are making all of this symbolism stuff up. I don't believe any of it. Hairwoman, do you tell your math teacher you don't believe that 3 times 4 equals 12? Well, Hawthorne's symbolism is just like multiplication. Once you figure it out, it's as clear as day. The bell rings. Hairwoman blocks the door to give out our assignment, a 500-word essay on symbolism, how to find hidden meanings in the Hawthorne. The whole class yells at Rachel Rochelle in the hall. That's what you get for speaking up. Stunted. Mr. Freeman has found a way around the authorities again. He painted the names of all his students on one wall of the classroom, then made a column for each week left of school. Each week he evaluates our progress and makes a note on the wall. He calls it a necessary compromise. Next to my name, he's painted a question mark. My tree is frozen. A kindergartner could carve a better tree. I've stopped counting the linoleum blocks I ruined. Mr. Freeman has reserved the rest of them for me. Good thing, too. I am dying to try a different subject, something easy like designing an entire city, or copying the Mona Lisa, but he won't budge. He suggested I try a different medium, so I used a purple finger paints. The paint cooled my hands, but did nothing for my trees. On a shelf, I find a book of landscapes filled with illustrations of every stinking tree that grows. Sycamore, linden, aspen, willow, fir, tulip, poplar, chestnut, elm, spruce, pine. Their bark, flowers, limbs, needles, nuts. I feel like a regular forester, but I can't do what I'm supposed to do. The last time Mr. Freeman had anything good to say to me was when I was made that stupid turkey bone thing. Mr. Freeman is having his own problems. He mostly sits on his stool and stares at new canvas. It is painted one color, so blue it's almost black. No light comes out of it or goes in. No shadows without light. Ivy asks him what it is. Mr. Freeman snaps out of his funk and looks at her like he just realized the room was full of students. Mr. Freeman: it is Venice at night, the color of an accountant's soul, a love rejected. I grew mold on an orange this color when I lived in Boston. It's the blood of imbeciles. Confusion, tenure, the inside of a lock, the taste of iron, despair, a city with the streetlights shot out, a smoker's lung, the hair of a small girl who grows up hopeless, the heart of a school board director. He's warming up for a full-fledged rant when the bell rings. Some teachers rumor whisper he's having a breakdown. I think he's the sanest person I know. Okay, it's the first half of today, and I'll do a new video for the second.